Unacademy. Let's crack it.
All right, now let's start. Okay, let me add one slide. Okay, so as many of you know, what is Git? Okay, so Git is nothing but is some sort of a version control system. Okay, so if I talk about Git, it's nothing but a VCS. So what is VCS? VCS is basically version control system. So assume that there are multiple people are working on some project. Okay, so let's take a project P1. Okay, five picking on that project. Let's say R1, R2, R3, R4, and R5. Okay, so in a team, there are five or some more people are working on a project. Okay, and there are some bigger project where hundreds of people are working on a single project. Okay, you can assume, you can take example of some MNCs where they're having some single application, and there are hundreds of engineers are working. Okay, so now there is a challenge to maintain the code. Okay, everybody know how to code, everybody know what to code, but there are certain things what they need to come up at a certain place, and they need to merge all their code so that they should combine that code and there should be a final code. Okay, so for example, now I'm taking some example. Let's say just five people are there. Okay, and they are having some code. Okay, so everybody is having their own copy of code. Okay, so for example, R1 has developed something, R2 have developed something, R3 has developed something, R4 and R5. Okay, so these people are working on, let's say, single feature or maybe some different feature. Now the actual task is uh, what they should how they should combine their code, and so that that code should go onto the production, and then the release should happen. Okay, so now you can hear, so I've seen many of the college students do something like this. Maybe there are three people are working on some project. They create projects, they create code like this. There's a folder, and they rename it, let's say, code one. Okay, and then they do some sort of a update, and they rename this folder to code final. Okay, and then they, after certain time, they do another change in this code, or maybe a couple of changes in this code, and they mark this code final 2. Okay, and then after some time they mark code final, and then after some time they mark code final 3, and so on. Okay, and after some time they're having lots of folders, maybe tens or of, okay, of their code. Okay, and when they actually want to submit their code, they're really not sure that what was the code which was the final code. Okay, and there are many chances they forget. Okay, so for example, they thought that, okay, this code was working pretty great till that date. Now after some time, this code was working great, but there was some feature which was present in this code for not present in this code. Okay, so at some point of a time, some of the engineer can remember that, okay, we need to take couple of feature from this code, but after 10 days or 15 days, or probably 2 3, after 2 3 weeks, they forget that here which code was the final code. Okay, and so that's why there's a need of version control. Okay, so what git do is, git maintain a code at certain place. Okay, so you can say that this is our central place of code repository. I will say this as a repo, and git will take care of all the things. Okay, and everybody can contribute in that code. For example, let's say R1 is there, R2 is there, R3, R4, and R5. Okay, so all people can contribute in this code. Okay, and Git will maintain whatever the code is the latest one, and it's their responsibilities in their R1, R2, all resources responsibilities, that they need to, whenever they start doing any code, they need to take a fresh copy of the latest code. Okay, so Git manage very smartly what is the latest copy of the code, and what is the difference between their machine's code, and what is the difference between current repository code. Okay, and it will manage in that section. So I hope you got what is Git as of now. Let's talk about what type of a Git or what type of a version control systems are present. Okay, so mainly there are two type of a version control are present. One is centralized. Okay, centralized and other is decentralized. Okay, or maybe or maybe you can call distributed. Okay, so what happens? Not distributed is, so in centralized means there's a single place where all the code is lying, that you can say the repo, and everybody is communicating with this centralized code base. But here there is an issue, that is a single point of failure. Okay, what happens if this machine goes down? Okay, if this machine goes down, all people are going to like forgot the access of this code, and everybody is going to forget kia what all sort of code was there. Okay, but in the distributed systems, there is an advantage that everybody is having own repo of their own copy of their code. Okay, so for example, there are 5 people and 5 people are having different sort of a code. Okay, and now every time, and there you can say that this is a central place, and everybody is going to contribute their copy to the central place and take fresh copy from the central place, similar way. Okay, so in this fashion, suppose that if sometimes, let's say, this machine is going to fail. Okay, so these people can sync with each other. Okay, they can construct another machine, and with that, with the help of that machine, they people can sync among each other. Okay, so let's say the connection is going to be create with these things. Okay, so this is the basically two types of git. Now I'm not going into much detail in the theory part, but I will be doing some sort of experiment. I will be showing you like how you can use the git command, and I will be demonstrating live. Okay, so let me share my screen, and maybe I can show how to initialize this thing. So I'm sharing my screen. I hope you all can see this screen. Okay, so now let me open one terminal. Maybe I can open that IntelliJ IDEA, or maybe the terminal. Okay, so I will be demoing all the things through a terminal. Okay, so now let's start with clearing the terminal. Okay, so first thing, uh, we need to create some directory. Okay, in that we want to create some project. Okay, so let's create some directory using the command line. Okay, maybe and let's say an academy demo. Okay, created that academy demo. Let's move into that academy demo. Okay, so here there is no file. I have seen I've done that ls is means list all the files. Okay, now we need to initialize the git over here. Okay, so we need to run a command git init. Okay, it will initialize a git repository over here. What it's going to do is it's going to create one dot git directory in the folder, and where all the things are there. Okay, so if you see ls minus h, okay, so there's a empty git repository initiated. Okay, so if I do the git status, okay, so there is a it's saying I'm on branch master and no commits yet. Okay, so now let's do one thing. Let's open this in some sort of a IDE. Okay, and then let's see. Maybe can go into that an academy demo. Okay, and let's open this project. Okay, I can open terminal over here as well. Or maybe this, here's the terminal. Okay, so I'm having nothing over here. Okay, so now let's create a single file. Okay, so I'm creating a file. Let's say I've created file one .txt. Okay, or you can create any other file. Okay, so I have created some file, and let's say I can write something. Okay, demo. Okay, I just save this file, and now if I see this, what is the git status? Okay, so it will show me there's one file which is basically not committed. So basically this is untracked file. Okay, so as of now in the git there are two types of file. One is tracked file and other is untracked file. Okay, so whenever you add any file it will be by default untracked file. And if you want to track this using Git, you need to add this into the Git version system. Okay, so here you can see two things. One is the .idea directory. So this is the by default directory which is created by IntelliJ IDEA. This is not a user generated directory. You can see these are a couple of things over here like git ignore, miscellaneous.xml, modules.xml, and so on. The other file is file1.txt. Then obviously I want to track changes in this file. Okay, so now consider an example. I'm one of the developer in the team, and I have created this one file, and now I want to commit this. Okay, so I'll basically add this file into the Git. So I'll run a command git add. I need to give the path of this file. So I'll give file1.txt. Okay. So once I add this file, so there are a couple of ways I can add this file. So one of the ways git add and the file name. So now if I check the git status, okay, so it's going to say this file is in the staged area and changed to be committed. Okay, we need to commit this, and this is in the staged area. Okay, so is what do this stage mean? Stage mean is that this file is now tracked by the Git system, and this is ready to commit, and basically you can push that into the central repository. Correct? Any question till here? Let me just check. No doubts as of now. Okay. So now let's say now we need to also push that into somewhere. Okay, so I'm creating one GitLab one GitLab account. Okay, so let me create one project over there, and then I can you show you the thing which is like how we can generally create the projects and all. Okay, so let's create an academy demo project. Okay, and by default it's a private, and I don't want to initialize the readme. Okay, so this is the central place where your code is going to be stored. Okay, as of now you can see there is no file and nothing. So what we need to do is we need to add this remote. So basically remote is basically something where your code is hosted. Okay, so we have already done git init. Now we just need to add the remote. Okay, so let me just copy this command, so which is basically telling me just add git remote and origin to this particular URL. Okay, so I have pasted this, and this has been added. Okay, so now if I again see the git status, okay, so this file is ready to commit, and now I can do commit by using one command, which is git commit. Okay, so basically I can do commit this file. Okay, now it will ask me a message. Okay, so I can put any message which is like which is the uh, which will tell what I have done in this particular commit. Okay, so I can say that okay, I have added. So this commit message should be some meaningful message, but as of now in the demo I'll just add like edit file1.txt with some initial content. Okay, and I can save this. Uh, okay, so I have saved this, and now if I see this git status, okay, so again this file is it changes to be committed. Okay, okay, let me just see. Okay, added file1.txt. Now I have just saved it. Okay, so one file has been committed. So now you can see there is a mode has been created against this file. Okay, so if I want to check, I can see this is in the tracked file. Okay, so now there is no file present which is untracked. Okay, other than that, and now in the next push I will be pushing that file. Okay, so now if I run the command, so now I need to push that particular file into the git. So if I run this command git push, and let's say I want to put push into the master branch. So I'll teach what is the branching concept later. But as of now, you can say this. I want to push that into the master branch. So I'll set upstream. Okay. So this is the first command which we need to do while putting that into the master. Okay. So it will ask me okay. So it has been pushed. Okay. So now let's see what we got over here. Okay. Correct. So we got file1.txt, and so this we got our initial message, this and this. Okay. Now suppose that now there's a one more developer over there. Okay. And that particular developer wants to do some other code. Okay, but on its own branch. Okay. So uh, if you see this maybe I need to stop sharing this. Okay. So now suppose that I have pushed something onto this Git. For example, if you can take this, this was my repository, and I am on this place, and I have added one file. Okay, so my repository reaches till here. Okay, so I have added file1.txt. Okay, I've added this, and I have reached over here. Okay, now take example. Somebody else also taken one code, and or not from here. Let's say at this place now there are two developers. Developer one is there and developer two is there. Okay, so take developer one as developer A and take developer two as developer B. Now developer A wants to add file A, developer B wants to add file B. Okay, and they eventually want to merge that into master. Okay, so now take that scenario. Okay, so we call this as branching concept. Okay, so these two developers are creating their own branch, and later on the line they're going to merge that. Okay, so how we create the branch, let's see that. Okay, uh, so let's share the screen. Okay. Okay, come on to IntelliJ. um, we can see we are on master branch. Okay, now let's say uh, I want to go on branch A. Okay, or maybe I can say A branch. Okay, so if I see the branch, on which branch I am. Okay, so I need to switch the branch. So basically I have created one A branch, and now I'll switch. So I'll do git checkout. So this is the command to switch the branch. I'll do git checkout and on A branch. Okay, so if I see this, so sorry, so if I see this, it's saying this, I'm on branch A underscore branch. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another file over here. Okay, file A, or maybe A file .txt. Okay, and so I'm just saying this is this file by A user. Okay, and just save this. Now let's just check git status. So I have added this file. Okay, so this time I'll add in some different manner. I can directly give the name of the file text file. So I can give some sort of a regular expression as well. Maybe that star.txt is also going to work. So let's say I give git add star.txt. So it's saying that parser did not match any file. Sorry, it's .txt. Okay, so now it has been added. If I check git status, this has been added. Now I need to commit this file. Okay, so if direct right, so now I can write edit file A by user A. Okay, in branch A underscore branch. Okay, and just save this. Hasn't been saved. uh, edit file A with branch A. Okay, now if I see the git status, it's going to be already added. Now I need to push but I'll push into that or A branch. Okay, so I'll push like this: git push origin and A underscore branch. Okay, not this, a branch name was A underscore branch. Uh, okay, sorry, git push. I'm on A branch. Okay, so I can just directly write git push, and it's going to push that. Okay. So now this has been pushed. Okay, so now if I come over here, okay, now if I refresh this, okay, I can just see, okay, I'm seeing one file, file1.txt. Why this is so? I have pushed two files, okay, but I haven't pushed into the master, so I have pushed into the branch A branch. Okay, so in the A branch, I'll be getting file A. Okay, A file and file1.txt. Okay, so what happened in the what happened till here? If I show you, okay, so initially I was there. I was having file 1.txt in master. I have created A branch, and now I'm having a file A created over here. Okay, file A.txt. Okay, now suppose that now I want this change is not present in the master, but I want this change to be present into the master as well. Okay, so suppose that a user has developed something and it is in own branch. Okay, now this code is completely fine, somebody has reviewed it and this code is working perfectly fine. Now that person A wants to merge this code. Okay, so how that person can merge this code into the master? So there are couple of ways. Okay, so one of the way is doing by doing from the command line, and other way is doing through the this terminal. Okay, so here you can see. Okay, let me share my screen once again. Okay, so here you can see I can create a merge request. Okay, and when I create a new merge request, so basically I want to say I want to merge my branch. Basically, I want to merge a branch into the master. It's clearly saying that. Okay, if I want to change the branches, I can do this, but eventually my target was this only. So I'll create a merge request. Okay, so I created a merge request. I can write description whatever I want to write. Okay, and one basically merge request is going to generate. Okay, so now I can, somebody can review the code. Basically somebody can check what all sort of changes are there in this two commits. Okay, so this is the change basically, and if I'm fine with that, I can merge this into the master. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you as of now. Okay, so I have merged this into the master. Okay, the Unactive demo project, and if I select the master branch, then both the files should reflect over here. Okay, so if I'm on master branch and both the commits are reflecting, so I'm having a file.txt as well and file1.txt as well. Okay, so but on my local machine I'm having two files. Okay, now let's say I moved on to the now I create another branch. Okay, so let's create another branch, maybe B branch. Okay, and now let's say I want to add a B file. We can assume this file is created by some other user. I'm doing it quickly. This is B file by user B. Okay, just save it, and I'm showing you how to commit this from UI as well. Okay, so I can directly go into this Git tab. I can see what all sort of a unversioned file. I can click on add to VCS. Once I add to VCS, it's similar to git add. It's similar to git add. I can do the commit from this GUI as well. So here I can write the commit message as well. This is B file added by user B. Okay, I can commit this, or I can do commit and push. Okay, so if I do commit and push, it will ask in which branch I want to push this. So I will say I want to push into the B branch. Okay, so I can push that. Once this is pushed, okay, it's asking for the username and password. So the username is all right. Uh, so it pushed into the new branch. Okay, so if I come over here, I can see another branch over here. It's going to the B branch. Okay, so earlier I was having A branch and now I'm having B branch as well. Okay, B branch contains code for all of that. Okay, but now I haven't merged this into master as of now. Okay, now say that I have done some wrong commit, or this file was no more required. Okay, so my team is no more blocked. They can release the master. So basically master is having updated code and they are not having the wrong code. Okay, so only the updated code was there. Okay, now let's say I want to but on my local I'm having 3 files. Okay, but now I want to roll back onto the master. So what I can do, I can check out the master branch. Okay, so I can switch onto the master branch. So how I can check out master branch, I can just simply write git checkout master. So I will be now on master branch, and if I do the git pull origin master, okay, so okay, so now I got this code. Okay, and once this gets refreshed, you can see my B file is got removed from my local machine. Okay, so that means now my code is in sync with the repository whatever I was having on the git. Okay, so this is till now. This is regarding the branching concept. Okay, now let me talk about how we can merge the branches on our terminal or on from the client side. Okay, earlier we merged through this feature. Okay, but now we are going to merge through from our machine. Okay, so how we can merge? So first of all, we need to see from where we want to merge. Okay, so let's say now we want to merge branch B. Okay, sorry, B branch to master. Okay, we want to merge that. Okay, so now let's see how we are going to merge. So first of all, let's see on which branch we are. Okay, it's saying that we are on master branch. Okay, and now I want to select. So now first of all switch to the B branch. Okay, so let me just switch to the B branch as well. Okay, so I can check out B branch from here. Okay, so as soon as I checked out B branch, so I got B file as well. Okay, so now I want to merge master into it. Okay, so I can go into this and I can directly click merge into current. So basically master is being merged into the B branch. Okay, or I can directly write git merge master, both both the same thing. Okay, so it's saying already. Okay, now let's say I want to merge B branch, sorry, master branch, sorry, B branch to master. So that means there will be one additional change into the master. Okay, so how I'm going to do, I'm going to first check out on the master. Okay, just take it full. Okay, now I'm moved to that master. Ideally this file is being removed. Okay, now I can directly say git merge master, okay, or git merge B branch, or I can directly go into over here and I can say merge into current. Okay, so now you can see merge origin B branch to master. Okay, so now if I simply push that into master. Okay, that means whatever change I have done it on my local, so I have merged B branch into master, and now I have pushed that into the master. So that means my this change is going to reflect over here as well. Okay, so if I refresh this once, you will see 3 files over there in the master branch. Okay, you can see 3 files. Okay, now let me just show you the commit history so that you can get an idea how we are going, how we have developed till we have reached till here. Okay, so you can see initially I have added one file, which is file1.txt in the master branch directly. Okay, then I have added another file, and I have merged branch A into master. You can assume that this code has been done by some other user. Okay, now I have added a file B in the by user B in branch B, and then I have merged into this. Okay, so if I show you how we have done, how we have reached till here. Okay, so user A had added file a.txt, B has added file b.txt. Okay, but before file b.txt got added, this user got his changes merged into master. Okay, so now master is over here, so master contains file1.txt. So this is the state of master. Master contains file1.txt plus file a.txt. Okay, but this branch B user just contains file1.txt, and it created file b.txt. Okay, now let's say this user also wants to merge this into master. Okay, so it will create another node, and this change is going to merge into this master. Okay, so what now master is going to contain these files along with file b.txt. Okay, so this is the very basic way of maintaining our code. Okay, what is the advantage of it? Now, um, what is the advantage basically? Now every user is independent of each other. Okay, for example, I don't need to see whether any of the user is doing commit in the same file or in the different file. Okay, for example, my master was here. Now let's say three users has cut three branches from here. Okay, and let's say user one has file over here, two over here, and let's say these are the three branches. Okay, not this. How we can remove this? Okay, so you can assume this is not any branches. So there are three branches already been cut by three users. So now these three users can develop their own thing. Okay, they can do their own commit. Let's say this user is committing these things. Okay, this user is committing, say, from the yellow color. Okay, this user is committing some different things, and this user is committing some different things. Okay, from this branch. Okay, so all of them are doing some different code all together. Okay, and I want to and let's say after 1 week of time, let's say I want to merge the changes of those users. Okay, so this might happen that these users have done changes in the different files, or these users have done changes in the same file. Okay, now take the case where these users have done change in the different files. Okay, so now what I can do is I can basically merge the changes. Okay, so for example, let's say this user wants to merge his changes. I can say that okay, you can merge the changes. Okay, so now this branch will contain all the changes of master plus user A. Okay, I'm saying this is a user A, this is a user B, and this is a user C. So now master will contain master changes of all master plus user A changes. Okay, now let's say user B wants to merge his changes. Okay, so how user B can merge the changes? First of all, that user B needs to merge this change into inside his local branch. Okay, so it's going to do, user B is going to take master plus A. So user B is having just master, user B is having just change of master. He is not having change from the A user. Okay, so now first of all, it's going to merge the changes of master plus A branch, and it's going to merge it in his local, and then it's going to reverse merge over here. Okay, so now this branch will come over here, and it's going to have changes of this, the master plus A plus B. Okay, and now let's say user C wants to merge their changes. So what user C needs to do? First of all, user C needs to merge these changes into his branch. Okay, so basically users this branches needs to be updated till here. So having the changes of master, but now it needs to have changes of master plus A plus B. These changes are going to merge first, and then these changes can merge into this branch. Okay, so now this branch can reach to over here. Okay, so once my master branch reached over here, then I can say that all the changes of master plus A plus B plus C are already there. Okay, now now we'll see this is one way where all the users have done changes in different files. Now let's see when the user have changed user have done changes in basically same file. Okay, so before that I'm pausing for 1 minute. If you have any questions or doubt, you can put in the chat section, and then I can take those questions. Okay, uh, now let's see now let's take a concept where we are having changes in the. So let's go into the code and let's directly see how we can have the changes in the same file. Okay, all right, so now I'm doing it quickly, and I'm at the same time I will be showing you. Okay, so what I have done is I have checked out the branch A. You can see I'm on A branch, or you can see from here as well. Okay, so it's showing star over here, so I'm on A branch. Suppose that I'm changing some file. Okay, some change over here. I am changing here. Let's say user A and branch A, maybe A branch. Okay, let me just save this, and I can commit and push. So I'm doing it quickly from the UI. So this is already there. I just need to commit this file, and I can write a second change by user A. Okay, I can do commit and push, and I'm pushing it into the A branch, and I can push that correctly. Okay, so this change I have done in branch A only. Okay, now let's see. Now move to the branch B. I'll just check out. Sorry, it's saying what? Okay, I'm on branch A already. Let me just see. Okay, there are no other changes pending. Okay, so I can do is I can come on branch B, and I can do the checkout. Okay, I can say drop local commits. Okay, and I'm having this B file. Okay, so I have already done some changes in file A, and this has been removed. Now let's say I done the same change. So my point is, now when the user A and user B has done changes in the same file. Okay, so user B is now also editing the same file. Okay, so I'm writing this change is done by user B in B branch. All right, so this basically, now I can commit this change as well. So I can commit this file, second change by user B. I can simply write this, and I can commit and push this. Okay, so I pushed this into the B branch. All right, okay, so now you can see I'm as of now I'm on branch B. Okay, now let's just move on to. Okay, I just do the checkout. Okay, so in master branch there is nothing over here. Okay, there is nothing over here. In the file A there is nothing over here. But meanwhile, if I go into the files, okay, so you can see there are two different copies of same file. Okay, so I'm on master. If I open a file, then you will find no change. There is a single line. Okay, but if I change this to a branch, okay, it will show me two lines of code. Okay, it will show me two lines of code. I am changing here user A and A branch, and if I select the B branch over here, then it will show me the second line with different things. Okay, so it's saying this change is done by user B branch. Okay, so now the thing is, if I show you over here. Okay, so I'm having something like this. my master is over here, okay, and there was person A and person B. They both have done changes in file A, and this person has also done changes in file A. Okay, so let's say this person has done changes first and this person has changes second, but master have no idea what changes these two person have done so far. Okay, now suppose that person A merge its changes. So now let's say now there's a turn. Person A wants to merge his changes into master, and then person B is going to change his changes into the master. Okay, now take this scenario. I'm over here, and now the person A is going to merge his changes into this master. So now this file is going to contains master plus changes of file A. Okay, and what changes? Second line, just a second line change. Okay, and then after certain point of a time, when the user 2 is going, or when the user B is going to merge his changes into this master, okay, then it will say that, hey, you have also done changes in second line, and I have already first line second, which changes you want to take. Okay, so now there's only one line can exist on line 2. So for example, I was having line 1 which is in the master, line 2 was different. So you can take this is branch A and this is branch B. So here the line was something related to branch A, and here the one line is common, which is same. The second line is it is related to branch B, and here it is related to branch A. Now Git is going to confuse, and Git is going to give you conflict that it will say, I can see the line 1 is same, but there is a conflict between line 2. So now tell me which is the correct change you want to keep. Okay, so this is a common problem when there are lots of developers developing some common code base, okay, or maybe some common files, then this conflicts gonna occur. In that scenario, developers need to think what was the change really required. Okay, and if there is some conflict change, or if there is some sort of a task which is done by two developers repeatedly, then one developer can remove one task. Otherwise, if both the codes are important, then what the developer can do, let's say these both lines are important, so I either I can move this as in the third line. So let's say now I'm here in the middle, I'm creating the common file. So first line is common, I need second line, I can think that I can say that, okay, I need something from file A. I can say A, and on this second line, I can move on to the third place. I can add this S over here. Okay, so if both the changes are required, okay, if both the changes are not required, then I can think of key whatever changes are required. I can take only that change. If none of the changes are required, I can discard all both the changes. Okay, now let's see this how we are going to do it on the code itself. Okay, so here now I'll merge it through the IDE itself. Okay, so now I am on master branch. Okay, now take that. Now I branch master. Okay, so now I'm just doing it from here, and now I'm saying this merge into current. Okay, so this has been merged. Okay, and now it's saying merge origin is this to master. Okay, so now my master contains this. Okay, I can push that. Just let me just push that into the master as well. So if I push that, it, it it has been pushed. Okay, okay, so it has been pushed. If I come on this master branch, okay, so master is now contains the changes of uh, this and the changes by user A. Okay, now let's say now I want to merge B branch as well into the master. Okay, now if I say merge this into the current. Okay, so now you can see it's giving me conflicts. Okay, so it's giving me conflicts, and you can see head is over here. So basically my master is over here, and it's saying I'm having some changes in user A branch A, and these changes are coming from branch B. And now I need to tell what changes I want to take care. Okay, so I'll just say, okay, merge this. Okay, so now it opened three panels for me. So it is saying this changes is coming from master, this changes is coming from branch B. Okay, so as I explained earlier, this is branch. So this is line one, this is line one, this line one is common. Now it's saying which change I want to take care. So now I can say, okay, I want to take this change. Okay, so I have taken this change, and now here I have option. Either I can discard this using this cross sign, or I can say this, okay, I want this change on the line third. Okay, so now it's saying all the changes are good to go. Or what I can do is I can just cancel that. Okay, so it will ask discard this changes or continue merge. Okay, so I'll say that continue merge. Okay, now I have done the changes. So something like this. This is my result. So now I will be having three lines. The first line is the common, second line is the from the branch A, and third line from the branch B. And I can click on this apply. Once I apply this, okay, and I can push that change into the master. Okay, so if I push that into the master, then I'm going to have updated code in the branch as well. Okay, so if I just refresh it, I'm going to have one more line of code over here. Okay, so you can see I'm having one more line of code. All right, uh, now what, so we have already seen couple of things, branching thing, merging thing, and the third thing is basically when we get conflicts. Okay, now this is regarding the beginner part. Okay, in the next session I will be covering couple of advanced concepts of Git. Okay, so what all sort of advanced concept of Git, let me add over here couple of things I'm going to cover in the next session. The first thing I'm going to cover, cherry pick. Okay, so what happens, let's say there are multiple commits. Okay, and you want to pick some particular commit from some particular branch, then how you are going to do it, I will be showing you this cherry pick. This is very interesting and advanced concept of Git. And the second thing I'm going to cover, how to create patch. Okay, so patch means, let's say I have done some code and I want to send this particular piece of code to some other developer. Okay, so how to create that patch and how that particular developer can apply that patch and can start work. Okay, the third thing I will be covering in the next session is a couple of interesting commands like git log, or how to restore the changes. Okay, how to basically move file from stage area to unstage. So a couple of utility, I would say, utility which is good to know. Okay, utility functions of Git which is good to know. I will be teaching that in the next session. Okay, uh, with that I will be doing couple of hands-on using that IDE and the terminal. Okay, okay, yeah, one more thing I just encounter. Okay, what going to happen if you delete the files? Okay, so let me just share my screen and just delete a file. So deletion I haven't taught yet. Okay, so for example, let's say if I just want to delete file 1.txt, and let's say I'm on master, I'm not teaching you the concept of something in the branching. Okay, so I'm just check git status. Okay, so it will say my branch is upgraded with master. Now let's say I delete this file one. Delete. Okay, so this file one has been deleted. Okay, so now how my git is going to track this? If I say this git status, sorry, if I say git status, so it will show me this file is being deleted. And now if I want to remove this from my git repository as well, so what I need to do is I need to add this first. So I need to add this file. So now here lots of people is getting confused why we are adding this. Okay, so we are not adding the file, we are adding the operation whatever we have done. Okay, so we never add any file or remove any file from the git, we just do the operation. Whatever operation is we have performed, we are just performing same operation in the git as well. Okay, so we have deleted this file, now we are just adding this file into our git system. Okay, so I have added uh, sorry, now just I need to do, okay, so this file is already need in the staged area, so I just need to commit and push. Okay, so if I go into here and I'm just doing it commit from here. Okay, you can do commit from, let me get commit from here. Okay, so here I can write one message, deleted file1 dot txt. Okay, so I have created this commit, and now if I just do git push, or I can directly do it from here. If I do it deleted file1 dot txt, if I push this out, so here you can see, if I go over here, you can see the file1 dot txt is no longer there. And if you check whatever is the commit history, uh, if you see the commit history, so there will be one additional commit with deleted file1.txt. Okay, so in this manner, we can do the work. Okay, now suppose that I have wrongly deleted file1.txt, I want this back. Okay, so what I can do is I can basically revert this commit. Okay, and basically I can get this commit, basically I can get this file back. Okay, so how do I do it from the terminal? Okay, okay, or I'll so this would be much, I will be writing it in the next session because the time is already there. So I will be writing it, how to revert the commit, revert commit in git. Okay, so we are already on time, and we will be covering these topics in the next session. All right, then. I think that's it for today's class. Hope you enjoyed the video.